There's something we need to talk about. A thought that not many people like to entertain. Look, here's the reality. If there is no God in this world, if God does not exist, nothing matters. Because if there is no creator, what is the difference really between a human being and a plant outside, or a rock, or dust itself? From dust we have really come, and to dust we will return. You'll one day be buried in a grave, and your body will disintegrate, and you will become part of this earth, and everything you've ever done, no matter how great or how small, all of it will be forgotten. All of it will eventually come to nothing. Your name will be forgotten, because ultimately everyone who's ever known you will pass away, and everything you've ever done, even if you were an Elon Musk, or even if you were a man of great influence, over time even your accomplishments will come to nothing, because, well, this world will not be lasting forever. Without a God, there is no value either. There's no value to you as a person. What determines your value? What makes you valuable? What makes you more valuable than the dust that I can pick up outside and let go, and it just goes into the air and disappears, right? Like, what makes us of any value, of any purpose, and here's the thing, nothing really matters. And because nothing really matters, I don't know about you, but that's really depressing. In fact, even if you were a celebrity, you had all the money in the world, you could spend it on as much pleasure as you want, because you could tell me, well, Petey, all that I have is pleasure. I can enjoy life. That's something. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But even those who have great wealth, who are able to buy as much pleasure as money can buy, you find them over and over. They think they're on top of the world, right? They've reached all their dreams and hopes and goals, but yet after receiving it all, they still feel empty. They still feel depressed. They still feel the need to go into bondages, to take drugs, to drink themselves to death, to indulge in things that destroy them, and they still feel suicidal. And their life is a wreck, because they have come to a point of such height in the world. But yet, looking down at it all, they realize something that a man that wrote the book of Ecclesiastes realized, that all is vanity. In fact, he goes on and he says, I made great works, I built houses, I planted vineyards, I made gardens, parks, planted all kinds of fruit trees in them, I made pools to water the forests, and growing trees. I gathered silver and gold and treasures of kings and provinces. I got singers, men and women, concubines, the delight of the sons of man. I became great and surpassed all who were before me in Jerusalem. And my wisdom remained with me. And whatever my eyes desired, I did not keep from them. I kept my heart from no pleasure. For my heart found pleasure in all my toil, and this was my reward for all my toil. But then I considered all that my hands had done, and the toil I had expended in doing it. And behold, all was vanity, and a striving after wind, and there was nothing to be gained under the sun. But see, you don't have to be a celebrity or someone of great influence or wealth to recognize any of this. I remember my first day of work after I finished my studies. I did my first day of a 9-to-5 job. I finally got home that night, and I ended up feeling like, wow, is this gonna be my life? Like, is this it? Is this what life is about? Working, a little bit of pleasure here and there, and then we die, we pass away, and that's it? See, either there is no God and nothing matters, or there is a God and nothing matters more than finding out who He is and knowing Him. But see, there are many people in this world who say, well, there is no God, right? There is no creator. This is it. But why then does the world live as if there is a God? People live as if they have purpose, They live as if they have value. They live as if they have a direction in life. But why? Because you are like the dust without a God. There's no point in even trying to have purpose. There's no point in anything because life is pointless. But yet people live as if there is a God, because there is a God for all people. Everyone has a God. It may not be the typical God that you may think of, but there is something in your life that you have elevated to the point of God. For some people, it could be that they have made themselves their God. It's still a God that you have raised up. But now the question is there a higher God above all gods? Is there a one true God who, as we look around us, how can we look around us and say that this is all an accident, that nothing has allowed something to come into this world? I don't need to be a top scientist to realize that that is a foolish idea, because nowhere in this world have we ever observed for any matter something to come from absolutely nothing. Yet everyone knows now it's right to be kind to one another. But why even be kind to one another? Why even be someone who goes to stand up for what is true? What is truth, in fact? Is truth something that changes? Because truth, by definition, must be something that is always true. If something is true today and not tomorrow, that was not truth. But yet, we believe in our legal system that it is wrong to murder, it is wrong to steal, and we lock people up for their whole entire lives in that cell. But how can we have the right to decide that someone should be locked up forever if there is no truth? That murder is only something that is wrong today, but maybe in some other society that one day changes. Because in some societies, murder, honor killings are legalized, as long as the reason falls into the society's norms. The fact of the matter is, though, our legal system and the way we work in society, we all live as if there is a God, as if there is a standard of truth, a standard of righteousness. And where did that standard come from? Why is it that in your soul you know that there is a right and a wrong, that there is something that is truth and there is something that is false? Who are you to decide, and where does that even come from? See, that discernment, that prick in the heart that each and every human being has about what is right and wrong is a gift from above. That moral compass that we have is no coincidence. In fact, there's no coincidence that we're the only animal in this world that has one. But see, now, let's just explore the other side of this. What if there is a God? What if there is a God who exists? Well, we could assume he would be perfect, he would be righteous, he would be holy. And if he is, and I don't know about you, but looking at my life, I'm none of those things alone. What will that mean with my relationship with that God? In fact, could it be that God who, if he exists, could it be that he brings actual value to my life somehow and purpose? If he actually created me with a purpose, the same way that we build a car with a purpose, we build a phone with a purpose. What if he built us with a purpose? And what if that purpose is something that is actually the thing that your soul longs for? What if the reason that celebrities commit suicide and or just about always addicted to drugs and trying to fill that gap, what if that hole that all of us really feel is when we are disconnected from that purpose? And what if it is the existence of a God that actually brings value to humanity? To the fact that just like we value one another, right? We protect one another. We protect children. We protect those who have been abused. In our souls, we value people. Why is it? Because if there is a God that has brought value to people, and we recognize that same value, that God-given value that people have. You see, we live as if there is a God in this world, even when we deny that he exists. All of the things that can come from nowhere but from him are exercised in our day-to-day, and we don't even question it anymore. But see, the true value that God has brought humanity is coming to say, you are so valuable that I will restore this broken relationship between us because of the fact that you have no righteousness, because of the fact that you have sinned, that you have fallen short of how perfect he is. And see, God came and he made a plan by dying on a cross for the sins of the world about 2,000 years ago, so that your sins can be wiped clean, so that you can enter into his presence. And if he died for someone like you would think that that means he deems you as someone worth dying for. And it is only with the existence of a God that it's not just vanity that is within life, but that there is actually something of value that will continue on even after you are put in the grave. Because if a God exists, it means that all the good and righteous things that you did for his kingdom on earth will surpass this time, but continue on even when this earth passes away. An eternal value is then on your life. I want to say a special thank you to our partners who have made this video and every other video this month possible. If you want to find out how you can become a partner, you can visit riseonfire.com.